Okay, we're back to the sharing. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for everybody who is joining me today. We're gonna work on the webinar on the year-end report today. So as I was mentioned before, I will be going through all the questions and everything. And then once I finish, I will try to edit the video, and then I'm gonna send you the template that we fill out today and any other notes that we get through the webinar. If you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand or write it on the chat. Just be a little bit aware that my chat is hide, so I may not be able to see it, but I'm gonna try to go with everything at the same time. So I can believe it is May, it's the end, and we are gonna do this. Always my how I start this, I try my best to go by lines. So for example, I will say line number 6, that means that I'm working with this line. So everything that I will be mentioning will be going in that, so it will be easier for me to go back. And if you are having any question, please tell me like, oh, I didn't understand what it say on line 7 or something like that, so I can go back to that one. Okay, let's start. This is the template. The template, I don't know if you already be familiar with that, but it's very similar to the one that we filled out the last year. They actually make it shorter this year, so we're very happy, and they make it a lot of drop-down menus that also help us a lot. So this is the first, we have only 2 tabs this time because everything else we've been reporting before. So the first tab is for contact and instructions. I've been receiving few reports already, and some people forget to write here. So please, please, please remember to write the name and at least your email, so then I know in case I need to follow up or go back to somebody, please, I will be able to know who is missing and go and ask them. Okay, so I'm gonna write just here my name. So if you are doing it with me, let's try to do it together. I'm gonna write here principal to remember those times when I was a principal. And then my email. Okay. And then, well, the phone number that unfortunately I don't know my FISA phone number, but I will try to just copy from here. 684 and then 60. It's these numbers that you never really call yourselves. So anyway, I'm gonna, let me just, then there is a drop-down menu here that is for your school and your school name. So as you can see, all the schools that are participating are here. So when you find your school, please remember to click, because if you don't click, then I notice that it won't go through the database. So please remember to click your school, so it will upload the data. Okay. In this case, I create a fake school that I will call test school. And then once you finish this, there is nothing else in here. So we're gonna move to the second one, that is the one that we're gonna be working today. You will see that my template is a little bit different than your template, just because I put a little bit of notes, and I will be putting a lot of other things while we are responding. But your template won't have, for example, these blue things. Okay. As you can see, once you click the first in the other page, the school, you will see your school appear here. And this time, I think also last year, if you click your school here, it will show automatically your allocation. So we don't have to go back and think about the allocation, because allocations will be already here. For privacy, I won't click any school, but if you click yours, you will see that it will appear. But for privacy, I won't click anything. I'll create my own school. And in this case, just for me, I will write a number, just because for you, you already will have your allocation. So you can see now the number is in, and I will be working today with $20,000. That will be my fake allocation, okay? We're gonna, so for you already should have already line number 7 auto-populate, and line 9 also auto-populate, and line 12 auto-populate. I see, did anybody have a question? Didn't auto-populate. Oh, okay. Kate, you can write, if you can just make me an, oh, okay. And if you can write it, and if no, when you send it to me, please send it on an email, and I will be able to unlock it and put it in. Don't worry, okay? Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay. So then
Thank
I'm
you.
going to be moving into the next part. So line number 8, it said if your school get any supplemental funds. So my advice in this is that let's try to keep it very simple and use the money that just report on the money that you were received by the government. But if by any chance you have really a lot of extra money that you want to report, here is where you're going to put it. When I mean other resources, means any fundraising, any money that the children pay or the parents pay for lunch, or any other money, donations, or anything else that you get that is dedicated to food programs. So just if you want to put it for the sake of this exercise, I won't put anything in line number 8. So I'm gonna leave it like that, okay? If you write something in number 8, you will have to write later on where do you get the funds from. But we're gonna move into the next one, that it will be line 14. You will ask me, oh, why line 11 is nothing happening? Don't worry, it's a formula. It will appear once we start answering the rest of the template. So leave line 11 like that. Don't worry, we will continue, and then you will see the numbers changing once we start working on the rest. Line number 14, it's about the intention of spending all your allocation in this year. So we encourage all the schools to use the money that you've been given. If there is any circumstance that by any chance you were not able to use it, please give me a call so we can chat a little bit about that, and we can find different ways. But let's just say that if you didn't spend all your money, you may have to write here because, maybe you lose staff, or maybe there was very specific situations that you were not able to spend it, okay? We're moving now to line number 15, that it say, where do you receive them extra funds? Remember, if you write something in line number 8, you will have to write something in line number 16. Hopefully it's clear now. Hopefully I'm not confusing anybody. Okay, we're gonna move to the fun part. This is one of the of the parts that I know all of us know the answers, and we will have it very like your information if you already have it with you. So this time now is the section 1, and it's called about spending food. They make it smaller this year, and they make a lot of drop down menus. So just for easy start, I did a little bit of writing, so it won't take me so long to go through each one of them. But if you notice in line 31, all this big block has a lot of drop down menus. So it's say, for example, the column C, it's a food supplier name, and now we have a huge drop-down menu, lots of things that are doing. I'm gonna tell you a little bit the story about this. They did a big survey between the in all the sector, and also with our public schools, and then they create a big list of all the people who is supplying food to schools. So then they try to put all in one list and make it easy for everybody, especially for the coordinators in the system, to have all there, and instead of being writing it. For some of us won't work because some of us work with very small business, or they just didn't put it in the list. So it's not a big deal. You can write, if you notice, if there is your provider is not in the list, you will see that at the bottom, at the bottom, it's, oops, sorry, at the bottom is an other. I'm actually gonna press here. It's an other. Let me just go all the way. Sorry, okay, other. Now it says there that it will open a new box. Unfortunately, it's not live, this box, so we are not gonna be worried about it. I have a lot of your distributors and a lot of the people that you're working with in your application. So I will make this list good enough for the ministry when we present when I present the report. So don't worry, if none of your distributors are here, you can just click other and leave it like that, okay? And write the rest. So I'm gonna continue with some of my examples. So for example, I choose AgriPer. Then you see the next drop-down menu will be the list of what is happening, if it's suppliers, non-profit, restaurant. If you don't find something that is closer enough, you can just pick something that is closer enough. So if it's a distributor or kind of, just try to put it in one of these categories. It's not going to be a big deal if there is not exactly the word that you're looking for. Now we're going to do the total spend. So this is a pretty cool thing because we're going to be doing a lot of the adding. So in this case, for my fake report, I said that I spent on AgroPer, I spent 4,000. And you will see this the line 28 start moving and changing the same as the other ones. Everything that is in gray, it means that it has a formula or is locked. Okay, so you won't be able to write on that one. I don't know if anybody, okay. For column F, it say that it's the BC food spends. I know some of you are doing the BC food, some of us are not. So we want to try our best to do it. If you didn't have any record this time, it's still not mandatory. So you can just leave it in 0 or write if you have the amount. Just for this one, I will say that I have like 2,500 that are BC, and you will see that the percentage here will change. So we don't really need to do any math. The template is going to do everything for us. I put another example saying that I have a Boston Pizza that is a restaurant or cater. Remember, you have drop-down menus. And I said that for this one, I will spend 2,000, or actually I spent already 2,000, but I don't know how much BC food is this. So I'm going to leave it like that. I make a new one saying Costco is a grocery and retailer, and then I spend 25,000. I'm giving different examples just so people that maybe are not live with us will be, or like, I mean, no are in the call with us. Everybody's live, but I mean, you know what I mean. Will be able to see different options, okay? And I will say the same. I don't know how many BC food is, so I will leave it in 0%. And my last one will be my food bank that is a nonprofit, and I say that I will spend 2,000 in that one, and maybe I spend 1,000 as a BC food, so you will see my percentage will change. Now, what is interesting here, that if you keep track of what is happening, line 28, that is in red, it start changing the numbers and start adding. And now I'm gonna go a little bit up so you can see what is happening, the magic, okay? So if you go up, you see that in line 11, I'm already saying that I spent 10,500. So everything will make sense at the end. So far, I say that I already spent this. Now I'm gonna keep going. Any questions until here? Anybody has any questions? I will stop and say if anybody is. Okay, I see here. For BC food spend, in the food is coming from BC, we add a total there. For instance, we purchase. You will put that on. So let's see that you have the 2,300. Let's see that I don't know exactly where you got it, but let's see that you got it in Costco. You have the Costco plan, you have the grocery thing, you have the total spend, and you're gonna put your BC in this line, in the column F. Okay, anything that you spend from that will be that. If you don't have a specific retail, let me explain this properly. Let's see that, for example, from Boston Pizza, I don't know exactly how much BC food they use, right? So maybe because it's ensembled, so it's a lot of different categories for BC. So maybe I will just make a little guess and say maybe it's like a 500 that they use because maybe they use the veggies. But if you don't have anything very specific or you're not using a farm or anything like that, don't worry. It's not something that it will be changing in your report or anything. Only if you have it and make it easy for you to do it. Okay. Okay. Don't worry, Bruno. I'm coming to that one. Okay. We are just talking around about right now, just food, physical food that you provide in the schools. Okay. Anything else about this section? Remember, this section is for food, snacks, breakfast, caters, anything that you use in your special lunches, in your breakfast, in your little snack boxes or anything, okay? Uber Eats will be reported part of your, they are they are having it in the school? It's kind of like that? Sabrina? Okay, so what we can do, you know what? We're gonna put it as other and put it as in other and put it as a cater, okay, or as a restaurant because it will be coming from a restaurant. So if you are ordering from Uber Eats, it will put other, and we will put here, we will put restaurants because that will be the closest enough, right? And then how much you spend. Okay. Kent, you're having some with cell 11. Let me see, where is 11? Yeah, sorry, Ken, cell 11 is auto-populated. So it will be adding once we keep moving into the template. So do not move it, just leave it there, and you will see that numbers are appearing. So for example, you see if I add here, let's see that I add here 5,000. You see, now I have 15. So it will be moving, okay? Don't worry, that's why I'm here. I love questions. Okay. Yes. Gift cards will be in different section. Yes, that will be down. So please wait. Gift cards are coming. Okay. Everything else. Any other questions regarding here? You guys are amazing. I hope I didn't complicate it too much, but it's a lot of different menus this time, so we can save a little bit of our typing. Okay, we're gonna move to section 2. Section 2 is now about staff. This time they make it a little bit easier because they are not asking us FTE, they are only asking us percentage. So that was a lot of my suggestion from last year because we didn't get really good data. So I'm gonna move to section number 2, and section number 2 is about how much money we pay from feeding futures to the staff. So remember that we were encouraging some of the no spending more than 10 to 12% from your funding into staff. So you need to have in consideration when you are filling out this part. And then it will be depending on how much, which people do you use. So for my example, let me see, I have here my second page. For my example, I say that I will use only supporting staff, and from my feeding futures, I pay only $1,000. What I'm saying this because I know $1,000 for supporting the staff is not enough, but the only part that I am paying is the feeding futures part that they are using, or the hours that they are using from this. So in this case, I will say that the percentage that they use that are devoted from the total duties devoted for this program, I will say that is around 10%. Also, this is a little bit complicated because that means from that person that comes, only 10% of their hours are used from feeding futures. We're using that person from so many other things, only 10% is using for feeding futures. So I know it's a little bit complicated, just the way sometimes this is handled. But our friends in the public schools, they have a very different setup, and we have to kind of align to what they are doing. So hopefully this makes sense. So for example, if you are a principal, I know a lot of you guys or a lot of admin people who is in this call is helping to do the orders or send the gift cards and all those kind of things. So remember to write here the percentage of how much money you're getting paid from feeding futures and the percentage of your total hours. Okay, so if I work 40 hours a week, I'm only using 4 hours a week, so that means that is my 10% because every day I do a little bit of cutting or ordering or those kind of things. Any questions about this little part? No? I will drink a little bit of coffee while people is thinking. Okay, I will continue. I wrote a little bit of things, so we kind of skip and don't take a lot of time, but I will read what I wrote, so in case you want to have some examples. Remember, you can use one phrase, one sentence, doesn't have to be so long. Just give me some information, because when we compile everything, it's important that you write me a little bit so we can make a big statement. So if you are, if I know this is a lot of work, but please give me a little bit of information at least in each one of the questions. So here I say in line 51, it say, do staff not funded through feeding futures support the preparation and delivery of the school? If yes, please provide an approximate amount. I just wrote volunteers because we know that a lot of our schools are using volunteers. So I say volunteers help with the preparation and distribution of food without receiving any payment. I know that is kind of the situation in a lot of our schools, so just make it easy for everybody. If you want to copy my sentence or if you want to do something else, feel free to do it. Continue with the next question that say, what are the adjustments that we make over this year? So then this question is related to the people that we write here. Okay, so this question will be about talking about the people that we are actually paying. So this will be, I wrote 3 of our EAIs took 30 minutes for their day to help with the preparation, the distribution, and the cleaning of the days when we offered lunch. The admin team is responsible to replenish the snack bins daily, and the teachers will take turns to assist in lunch preparation. Much of this work is done in additional to the regular jobs. So that means that I'm not paying extra to anybody else, but I would like to explain a little bit. It's important, especially guys, now that we are advocating for a little bit extra money for staff. Please write things about staff and you know how this is important. So hopefully in the coming years we were able to get a more support from staff. So just always write the situation so it's easier for me to present it when I do reporting. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, now the time that everybody was waiting for. Now it's coming. Grocery cards are coming. I'm gonna move to the next part. The next part is section number 3, and this is when we're gonna report everything else that we don't report on the top. So that means that we already report stuff and we already report food that we eat at the school. Now we're gonna report of the things that we are in your application is called like other expenses. So now we're gonna report on those ones, and it's very specific what we're gonna do because each one will have their own line. So line number 63, it says supplies for provision of the food. Remember this, it's called like that, but it's what we understand for small appliances. Anything that you bought, like if you got any toasters or any spoons or plates, people who is using plates, disposable plates, or I know some of you guys are using that for your big lunches or for your lunches every week, just because it's easy or you don't have a dishwasher, please write it in this section. If and anything else that that you bought like spoons. I think a lot of the schools, because we're in the 3rd year, are not buying big appliances, but I know we have a couple schools that are 1st year. So if you're a 1st year school and you got a bigger appliance, please write it here. In my case, I will write that I spent on appliances 1,000 because I bought 2 microwaves. And you will see now my line 61 is changing, but if we go up, you will see that my line 11 is also changing. So everything is connected, okay? Now I'm gonna go to home security support and grocery gift cards. So this is the grocery cards. Oh, I just realized that I spelled it wrong. Okay, grocery cards. Any school that are using only grocery cards, if you are an online or you are another school that are using grocery cards, please remember to write here your final amount. In my case, I say I spent $5,000. This is only grocery cards that you are using to give it to the families. I know some schools use grocery cards as part of how they buy the lunch, but that was in a different category that should go in the top. Okay. So this is for anybody who give grocery cards to the families, either at Christmas or in different times of the year. So it goes here. Now we have a different other, like other. I'm going to give some options for other people who are having another expenses. So for example, in line 65, I wrote garden. I know few of you guys have every year a little bit of soil and seeds that you prepare in the spring. So I wrote garden for my soil seeds and small tools. And I spent only 200 on that one. Now keep changing here. And my last one, I wrote holiday hampers, and I say I spent 2,300 here. So why is this? These are just examples. I know some of you do backpack bodies. I know some of you do just boxes that you deliver to the grocery boxes. So remember to put those ones so we know what other kind of like programs you're using that are not just grocery carts. So now you can see that I spent a total of 8,500. And if we go up, you can see the magic. I already show that I spent my 20,000. That means that I'm not carrying anything, I'm not carrying forward anything, and I spent already all my money. So these are the 3 big categories. If your numbers here are not is not 0, that means that you have some carry forward, and that means that you're going to have to explain why you're carry forward. And then, as I mentioned earlier, if it's a big carry forward, please give me a call so we can chat a little bit about this. Okay, so section 1, section 2, and section 3, that is the money part is done. I don't know if anybody will have any question or want to go back to any of these sections before we move to the next one. The next ones are more text, so I want to make sure that we cover everything here and nobody has any questions. I'm happy to read now that I can see my 11 is not autopopulated. I follow up with. Okay, yes, Elena, I'm happy to give you a call and we can help each other. If any of your cells are not working, sometimes depends on which computer you are. It's funny because I have a Mac in my house and my Mac is a little bit off sometimes. But here in the office, I have a PC, so it's a little bit different. But yes, I'm happy to help anybody. Anything else? Any other issues that you guys are having with that? No? Okay. Did I cover everything? Did anybody is missing anything else? I think we covered. I think we are pretty good with this now. We know that very well. I'm gonna move a little bit to the next parts. And then we can go back always in case you guys still working on it. I can always go back, okay? So the next one is say we need to give an explanation. Line 69 is say we need to give an explanation of what was the things that we buy in this section. So I just wrote we bought two microwaves for our lunch program. The school created holiday hampers with a variety of items to support the schools during the holiday season, and we bought storage bins to keep snacks. So that kind of give an explanation of what we were using this money for. So please always, if you please write me a little bit about what you do because this is what is important, especially when we're doing grocery cards. It's important that we show maybe you can write we give grocery cards 3 times a year or something like that so the ministry can understand what is happening in our communities. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the next section. The next section is section 4. We are going to talk now about the food programs and what is happening and how we use it and the frequency and all those kind of things. So I'm gonna write here. This is not auto-populated. This is something that we need to write. Okay. So it says how many percentage of students are using or accessing the school food program. I'm gonna give a few examples here before I write anything. I say, for example, a lot of the schools are doing snacks, and the snacks are in the hallway or are on the in the office, and everybody can access. If any of your students, or actually every of your students, are able to use it, you can write 100%. If you are saying, for example, you only give gift cards or grocery cards, sorry, and then you also have some special school lunches, you can write 100% because everybody's invited to that lunch. Okay. So we have to be in this part is more about the food that we are serving, not the gift cards that we are giving. Okay. Or grocery gift cards. Sorry that I'm using the wrong term. Grocery cards. So if we're gonna be talking, if for example, if you have a breakfast that is for everybody and you put it out in the morning and maybe 20 kids get it instead of the 40 that you have in the school, you're still offering to everybody, so that will consider 100% of your students. So in my case, I'm gonna write that I offer it to 80%. Because you will see what I'm gonna write later. Okay, so I say snacks. My meal type, we have to type here. There is no drop-down menu, so it says snacks. Then the frequency of the meal is, oops, we have drop-down menus here. I will say that we do daily snacks. We put some apples, we put some granola bars, we put everything there. The model that we have, and this is always very funny because we have, and I still thinking that it sounds very similar, the no cost to students, no cost to students in need and subsidized. And I know we have this question every year, but in my case, I will write no cost to all students. Schools will use the Feeding Futures money to buy the snacks. Then total number of schools, I will say that all my students are eating this, so I will say that 80 students are offering, so that means that is my 100%. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm gonna give all the examples that normally schools give just to have a variety. So I will say that the next one is lunch. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna say breakfast. Breakfast. I will say that breakfast, we only offer it once a month. Now, there are maybe not all the times and dates that you offer it. Just try to go to the closest that you can. I will say that we offer it, there is no cost to students in need, and we only offer it to 20 students. Okay, so that means that my percentage is 20, right? Did I'm doing math right? Hopefully, yes. Okay, now I'm gonna say lunch. Okay, lunch. We offer lunch. I will say once a week. Okay, this is just me writing. I know you have real information. I will say that we no cost to all students. Why? Because we pay for them, and I will say the same. We offer it to 20 students, and that will be my 20%. And the one that a lot of you guys have is a special lunch. Sorry. Um, Special lunch. What I call a special lunch, I put it in a big category, is all your sport days or picnics or barbecues or any like special, like, you know, you have sometimes winter concerts or anything where you get a lunch that everybody is invited, all your community and everybody's there, and maybe some of those food is paid by through Feeding Futures. So I will consider that one as my special lunch. You don't have to write me specific like, oh, sport days or anything like that. You can just write a special lunch or a special dinner or something like that when it's invited your full community. I will say that this is occasionally because we don't have it every time. It will be no cost to all the students because we will provide the food, and it will be for my 80 students. So that means that it is my 100%. So this is kind of what it's going to look for. Of course, your numbers here will depend on what programs you offer and how you offer it. If you are doing just grocery cards, you can just ignore this part and just continue with the other ones. But if you are having any food service that you are using in your school, if you're serving any food in your school, please write something here so then we know what programs you're doing. Okay, we're moving to the next part. Any questions before in this section before I move on into the next one? The next ones are going to be a lot of me reading and just telling you some examples. So I'm happy to just stop and see if anybody has any questions. We're very good on timing, so I'm very proud of all of us. Thank you for being nice. If you are not, if you are not sure exactly how many students are partially, like, you can try to do a little bit of a guess, saying like, I think we pay maybe 20. Yes, you can always do a guess, or Fiona, you and I can always chat a little bit if you want to send me an email or give me a call after, so we can kind of like make a decision on what we wrote on there. So then you have a more specific data. But yes, I know sometimes it's a little bit harder because we don't know exactly the amount of kids that we're doing that, but we're gonna try to make a kind of like a border guess of what is happening in the school. So yes. Yes, Fiona, we can chat a little bit after, or you can we can send an email. Or if you feel comfortable with my answer right now, you can just go ahead and write whatever you feel that. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move to the next part, and then I'm just gonna be doing a lot of reading because I kind of like pre-populated for me, so then I don't have to be writing at the same time. So it say actions taken in school food programs to make sure that the food is accessible and available. Okay, so I just wrote each classroom has a snack bin that is accessible to the students. Breakfast is set up in the morning. It's a self-service, so everybody can come and eat the food. And we have special lunches where all the students participate, especially during holiday season. That's kind of like a answers that I get through the years. So I just kind of like use some of the answers that you guys provide before. Just, feel free to write anything else that is very specific for your school. I love details that are new and innovative, so then I can have new things in our report this year. It say highlights. Please do not be shy. Give me some good moments. I think it is very important for us to show that this program is making a difference in our kids and in our families. So if feel free to please share some stories, some good stories, some changes that you see in the children's behavior, some changes that you see in your families. I know it's hard times now with groceries being very expensive and all these things that are happening in the world. So it's nice to have a highlight and good notes that we also share as part of our report. So this time I didn't write anything because I wanted that you guys surprise me. Okay, I'm gonna continue with the next one that it will be line 92. It say, what actions did you take to increase BC food and any new suppliers? So here is where I will recommend that anybody who has a new supplier this year that is working and it's making a difference in your lunch program, or is a new person that is, if they are, so you find a new place that is not just superstore or anything like that provide some good grocery cards, please write it so then I can include it in the list, and hopefully our list will be growing and growing and growing. So in my case, I wrote, whenever it's possible, we try to buy BC produce, such as berries and eggs. All the shopping, we try to do it locally. This year, we also create a new partnership with Mama Bakery. It's a fake bakery, but I just make it because it sounds cute, which provide buns for our lunch program. Okay, so that's kind of like what I, just a sample of an answer to give you an idea. The next one is about the actions to take to do a healthy school food environment. If we increase the serving of foods, if we are doing a more cultural preferred foods, if we are taking in consideration the students to come and be part of these lunch program menus and all those kind of things, and any other resources that you're using. I know you guys been receiving emails from me about the BC School Food tool. That is actually an amazing tool. I really enjoy. And I know as a coordinator, but also just to see the menus and everything that they are offering. It's a pretty good. Their plan for next year is to make it bigger and more, no bigger in a sense that more resources, but also easier for everybody to access and to make it very fun. So I really recommend that if you're not familiar with that, just go ahead and you just need to click and say BC School Food Toolkit. And then you can see a lot of the resources that are there. So in my response for this line will be line 98, and it's a school have been involved in the design. Sorry, students being involved in the design of the menus, as the same as preparation and distribution of meals. We use also samples from the menus in BC School Food Toolkit as a reference, just as an answer for you guys to take in consideration. Okay. Do you plan to track BC food for the 26-27 and increasing extra BC food? I know we are, some schools are working a little bit more into the tracking system this year. I believe we're still voluntary for next year. I don't know when this is gonna become something that is a little bit more mandatory, but at this time I know we're still in the process of working. But I also know from your emails and connections that we have through the year that you guys are looking for places that are local and increase more things. So yes, yeah. And you can write that. And if you are not doing anything, don't worry. It's not gonna be a deal breaker in your report. You can just write not at this moment, and that's okay. In my report, I wrote we are working on a system to track, and we are participating in the Fresh Kids program. Sorry, they changed so much names, so it's always a little bit confusing. Okay, that was section 4. This is over. This is about food and everything else. I know you guys have the same questions from last year, so if you are doing exactly the same as last year, you literally can copy. So you don't have to rethink. Okay, so all this section is almost the same as last year. And we go to the last part. I promise we're almost over, and this part is gonna be very easy because you just click, click, click. Okay. We have section 5 that is engagement, and engagement is about how much we're connecting with our communities. I know all of us are connecting a lot. So it's are you engaged with parents, guardians, students, First Nations, and other indigenous group or other communities? Most of us are doing yes, so I will write yes. And then they will say which group are you connecting with. So there is a drop down menu here. Please remember to click yes or no. If you are not connecting with anybody, I will really appreciate if you can still connect. If you start clicking no, so then the database shows some information. If no, I have to do it manually. So if you can, and if you don't forget, I would appreciate that. If no, it's okay, don't worry, I can help with that too, because I know how busy we are. So I will say parents and guardians, yes, and I say how I connect with them. I say a letter was sent to the parents to inform about the feeding futures and invite to self-identify if they would like to receive a grocery gift cards, or you can change here whatever the way that you connect. Some of you are like by email or in the newsletter or just talking in person or by phone, all those kind of things. Please write it here. If you are connecting with the students, I will say yes. There are feedback from the lunches. They were taken in consideration for future orders. Students are helping to prepare some of the food. Then First Nations, if that is yes, you can say yes or no. In my case, I will say no. My school is not connecting. Then I will leave this like that. You don't have to write anything. And other groups and other community groups, I will say yes. You know, maybe I'm talking with our church community or our board or all those kind of other communities that you're working with. You can click it here. And if you have any other, normally these cover, but if you have any other that I'm not aware, please write it here. You can write which one. And the last part is about First Nation students. So one of the important things here, and I will really, really appreciate, and I actually make the little notes here, is that you need, if you have any First Nation students that you are part of your program, to write the number. That's kind of like the big thing that is happening that is one of the information that is relevant that they ask me to report at the end. So I will appreciate if you have your numbers. You don't have to identify how many, like of course you don't have to identify students, but if you have your number saying like 8 students, 10 students, please write it. So then I have a data at the end of the year. So it says here, line 112, sorry. It say, did you support any students living on reserve? So in my case, I will write no, I don't have anybody. So I will say not applicable. The next one is say living off reserve. And I wrote, yes, I have 80 students, and very easy. Most of you guys, all of them are part of our food programs. There is no, for everybody is not stigma, everybody is included. If you consulted First Nations or other indigenous groups regarding the use of feeding futures, you can write yes or no. And then you can, if you say yes, if you consult, then you have to write, we have a meeting, or, I can say we have a monthly meeting. Some of you guys, I know you're very connected with your band and your First Nation community. You can write that, or if you are not, and you just maybe didn't ask or anything, it's okay. You can write whatever is in your situation. And any other important highlights. If you write me highlights here, don't worry, you don't have to write highlights here. But if no, I will really also appreciate if you can write any other highlights that you feel. And that's it, people. So it's not that bad. Look at us. We finished in 40 minutes because it took me a little longer to set it up. Okay, let me see. I will write email. Did you expect that it will become mandatory? No, I don't think it will be. I personally don't think that they will make mandatory to just buy BC produce, because that's kind of impossible. A lot of people, for example, I get together every month with my colleagues in the north, the coordinators in the north from public schools, and some of them, they struggle so much with delivery of things and just the way to get food. So they bring the food from Alberta. And it's just the only way that they can get it. So I really doubt it that they will make it mandatory. I think they are gonna try to see as much as we can, and as to buy as local as we can. But it will be, I mean, a lot of people buy things even for the public schools from Costco and all those guys, and it's hard to get it from BC. So I don't think that it will be mandatory. I think it may in a couple of years, if everything works well, or I think that the tracking will be a little bit more strict, but I think not yet. So hopefully we still have a few years to develop a little bit more of a better tracking system. Okay, Before I stop sharing, I want to ask if anybody has any questions about the template. And then we can go back and chat about anything else because I like to see all of you guys. But if anybody has any questions, did your numbers work? Did any of the numbers or cells didn't work? Hopefully everything works, but just in case. I don't hear anything, but I know probably you guys are typing. While you are typing and checking if everything works, I'm gonna give few remarks. Yes, Tara, very nice seeing you. Okay, I'm gonna ask everybody who is in the call or everybody who's watching this video later to please, when you send me your report back, please put it in a new email, because if you send it into the thread or anything, any previous email that you sent me already, it may get lost. I get so many emails during this time, and I don't want to be the person who's going to follow up with you once you already send it to me. So please, if once your report is ready, put it in a new email with the name of your school and your mean code, and then you send it to me. I'm gonna stop now sharing. It looks like you don't have anything. I just like to see everybody. So please send it back, and also you will receive an email from me saying, thank you so much. I received your report. There is no changes or anything. You will receive a confirmation for sure once I review your email. Bear with me because I get so many during this time. It gets a little bit busy. I become very famous and popular, and my inbox gets super crowded. But I will make sure always to send you a confirmation email saying that I received that. The FISA team is gonna be not in the office next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We are having a retreat with our board and everything, so we're gonna be in Victoria. So it will take me a little bit longer if you guys are sending me your reports in these days. But I will make sure that I catch up next week with you guys and send you an email. If there is any corrections, I will still sending you, maybe give you a call or just an email if we need to do any clarification and everything. But if you don't receive an email from me in 2 weeks and you already send your report, please follow up with me, because that means that probably got lost somewhere else. Okay. Anything else, guys? It's kind of sad that know that I'm not gonna see you guys until next September. Allocations are not ready yet. Allocations, I think probably they're gonna be working on it. So I'm not sure if they're gonna come in the summer or they're gonna come in September. But there will be, as soon as I hear about allocations, I will send an email. Even it is during the summer, I know some of you may not be in the office. I will still send in a reminder and everything, an update, so you guys can ignore my email because I know you're on vacation, but at least you know what is happening. Percentage for garden. Remember, we're trying to use very small percentage. So if we're trying to, hopefully no more than 500. Just in general, depending on your funding. I know a few people has a bigger gardens and they need more soil. So Ellen, I don't have your just in my mind right now. I don't have exactly your allocation. But we will try to be just very mindful and keep it not as much. Remember, they try to encourage more purchase of food instead of like a garden, but I know a lot of the schools are also using those vegetables and everything for them. That was not a very good answer, but hopefully you know what I mean. And like with you and me, Ellen, I can chat after. Okay, let me see. Can I discuss? Can I? Yes, of course yes, Fiona, we can talk about that. If you want to stay at the end of the call, we can chat about that. Anything else? I really appreciate, guys, that you come. I didn't really give you so much time frame between I give you the template and now, but I really want that you guys start working on it because I know how busy it gets. June, so if I can take away one thing from you, it's kind of like my goal. So I'm always here, guys. If you struggle, if you need, if you think that it's easy just to do it over the phone with me, I'm here. I'm happy to do it. You know that it may take us 20 minutes the latest to do it over the phone in case you are like actually having an issue there. So please feel free to just give me a call. Thank you for your kind words. I love that you guys come. I don't see you very often, so when I see you in my webinars, I love that you came. Um, Thank you, Brad. You are my fan, and I love it because sometimes I feel very overwhelmed with so many things happening, and when I'm by myself on the Zoom call. So thank you. Yes. So anything else, guys? I'm here. I will stay. I will stay. Whoever needs extra time. Caroline, thank you so much. I like that you always showing my things. So I appreciate your support. Thank you, Minu. Very nice. And Bruno and everybody who's here. Rebecca, I know some of you guys were connected with me yesterday. So I'm glad that we were able to make it. And if you have friends that will need to send report, remind them. Then yeah. Oh yes, Brad, thank you. There you go.